This week on HomeKit News, the ZemiSmart Universal Remote with Zigbee. Welcome back everybody. Today we're looking at yet another IR blaster, but unlike all the other blasters that I've tested here, which include some that are solely for AC control, this model uses Zigbee. So this is the ZemiSmart Universal Remote, and as it uses Zigbee, it does require a ZemiSmart Hub, which in this case is the Zemismart M6 Hub. This is Matter compatible, which means Zigbee devices like this one connected to it will be exposed to your Matter ecosystem of choice. Let's have a quick look at the IR blaster first, which I have to say is fairly small and discreet at only 2.75 inches wide and deep and just 1.1 inches tall. Visually, there's not a lot on the device itself, with a small LED on the front and a USB-C port for the power on the back, which is next to a reset button. Just as a side note, if you're worried about the LED light keeping you awake at night, it appears the LED is only on during pairing. A USB-A to C cable is included, although there is no power brick. There's also a small manual, and that's it for the blaster. Now, if you don't have a ZemiSmart Hub, you can use either the M1 or the M6, which I have here. Now, this is a Matter bridge and comes with a Matter code and a couple of extra bits and pieces. One of these is an aerial to help with the Zigbee signal, and you also get a USB-A to USB-C cable for power, and finally a rather short Ethernet cable. The aerial fits onto the back like so and is both very simple but also quite useful, as already mentioned. Now, for installation you will need to set up an account in the Toya app, but once that's done and you've powered up your new hub, the app should discover the hub automatically. I'll go ahead and add it now, which is a fairly painless procedure to be honest. After being added, you may have an update waiting, which you should of course implement. That's now added and updated, so let's move on to the IR blaster itself. Once you've connected the IR blaster to power, the small LED on the front will start flashing, indicating pairing mode. On the hub panel in the app, tap on Sub-Device and then Add Sub-Device, whereupon the IR blaster should automatically be detected. Select it and tap Next, and it should be added within a few seconds. It'll come up with a screen saying No IR device found, which just means we haven't added any remotes to it yet, which we'll do next. Whilst on this same screen, tap on the Add button and simply select the type of device you want to add. It'll offer two options, Quick Match and Learn Match, and as I know my AC model, I'm going for Quick Match and simply type in the name of the brand, Daikin in this case. As is standard in IR pairing, it comes up with a control that will send a signal to the AC. If the AC responds correctly, I confirm by tapping the green button. It'll then go through the same process a few more times with the different functions to make sure it's getting the details for the exact model. After this process is complete, it'll show me a more full user interface for my AC controller, where I can control other aspects of the AC and confirm that they are also working. So that's my AC added, and if you look at the subpage device, I've also now added a TV remote, so the blaster is set up to control two devices. The TV remote has its own detailed interface, just like the AC has, with additional buttons hidden in sub-menus. Let's have a quick look at the required hub for a moment, and just to confirm, this is only a Zigbee hub, but as it's Matter compatible, it essentially acts as a Matter bridge. Now, just to be clear, this hub does not use Wi-Fi, so you will need to wire it to a router or a network switch. It's powered via the USB-C port, so this is not a PoE device, unlike the Aqara M3. So with the hub added to the Toya app and the IR blaster added to the hub, I need to get it all into Apple Home. So if I go into the settings for the hub and select Share via Matter Gateway, the app will generate a Matter code for you. Simply copy this code and you can use it next. In Apple Home, I just need to select Add Accessory, and instead of scanning a QR code, I select More Options, then select the hub from the top of the list. I paste the Matter code I just copied and it begins to install, and because it's wired, I don't need to worry about which Wi-Fi band my phone is connected to. So that's now added, and once it's placed in a room and given a name, all the other devices connected to the hub will follow on. So in this case, the AC controller will show up for adding. For the TV remote, as it's standard for IR devices, this only shows up as a switch. So once added and named, you get the option to display it as a fan, a light, or a switch, which wasn't the option with the previously reviewed Tapo IR blaster and hub. They're all added now, so let's go to the room they reside in to make sure they show up. So in the other section, you can see at the top a switch labelled TV has been added. This will only allow you to turn the TV on or off, which is normal format IR devices. If you scroll back up, you can see under Climate, the AC is listed as Room Air Conditioner. Now because the IR blaster doesn't have any built-in sensors, the room temperature will show as 0 degrees unfortunately. Although going to the settings, you can see that we can control the modes, which are cool, heat, or off. Now in the Eve for HomeKit and Matter app, the auto option does show up, but unfortunately it can't be selected. If we go into the settings for the AC, you can see it's connected to my Zemismart M6 Hub. And if you go into accessories, you can once again see tiles for the AC and the TV. On to the pros and cons now, starting with Zigbee. And as I've stated many times before, I'm trying to reduce my reliance on Wi-Fi devices, and if either a Thread or Zigbee device can replace one, then I'm happy. And this is the case with this IR device. Now whilst I need a hub, it isn't built into the IR blaster like the M3 is, for example, so the hub can be in one place and the IR blaster can be somewhere else, as long as it's within range of the Zigbee signal. Of course, this is small enough to sit on a shelf and barely be noticed, so if you like things that don't draw attention to themselves, then this is definitely one that fits the bill. Now, although this can control your AC, it's not solely for that purpose, so if you want basic on-off control of any IR device, this can help where a smart plug sometimes can't. Now the last 2 points aren't necessarily cons, but you do need to set up an account in the Toya app in order to get both the hub and IR blaster set up. But once that's done, you don't really need the app aside from firmware updates or adding new IR devices. Some may not want yet another hub, but as the IR blaster uses Zigbee, you will need either the ZemiSmart M1 or M6 hub, although like the IR blaster, these are pretty inexpensive. If you already have one of these hubs, the IR blaster is definitely worth the asking price of around $20. So that's our take on ZemiSmart's Universal Remote. Is an IR blaster something you still need in your home? And if so, what would you control it with? Let me know in the comments section below, and if you've got any questions on this or any of my other videos, ask away and I'll always reply. In the meantime, if you enjoyed this video, show some love by giving it a like, share if you can, and do subscribe if you haven't done so already. It just remains for me to leave you with this week's quote, this time from the king of the boffins, Albert Einstein.